And this is, step by step having a plan, but don't move down here with no money and no job and, no prospects or no car and think that you're just going to thrive. It does not work like that. Faith without work is dead. Plan for your move. Make your exit. Make your way out. Stop letting life pass you by. Stop letting your dreams and your aspirations pass you by. Just do it. Don't be scared. It's nothing to be scared of.
Choose your fighter. Fight. Knockout. You win.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Courtney, but I go by Young and Kinky here on YouTube. And if you is new here, welcome to the family. If you is not new here, welcome back. How was you doing? I done missed you. Hope you are still staying safe out here in these streets. Okay, so today's video is going to be all about, what the fuck is today? About planning your move to Atlanta and basically what I would do if I was starting all over. Before we jump into today's video, I do want to go ahead and ask that you smash that red subscribe button down below. Show your girls some love. Give this video a thumbs up and hit the bell notification right next to it so that you can be notified every time that I post. And don't forget to follow me on social media at YoungandKinky. I know that there are 1,000 different ways that you can be spending your time today, but I do want to thank you for spending a little bit of it with me. So thank you. So let's jump into today's video. First step in planning your move to Atlanta is to find out your why. Why do you want to move to Atlanta? Why do you want to move, period? But specifically, why Atlanta? Did you just pick it out on the map? Do you have friends or family here? Did you visit here one time and it was really nice? But why do you want to move to Atlanta? But taking a step back from that, why do you want to move, period? When I was deciding to move, it was out of necessity. I kind of got put out at a place that I was staying at. I didn't have a choice. I had to move. And so I was like, you're either gonna sink or swim in this moment. So I decided to go ahead and just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. And here I am. I swear my ass down to motherfucking Atlanta. I do not regret moving here, not once. And I chose Atlanta because it was on the East Coast. It's still close to Virginia, where I'm originally from. Norfolk, Virginia. Stand up. 757. I'm from the 757, boo. Here we go. I want to stay on the East Coast to be close to my family, and to me, there's really no other place on the East Coast that I would I could see myself living in other than Atlanta. So my why was pretty simple. Also, I moved down here because I really wanted to focus on my dreams and my goals and reaching them. Back in Virginia at the time, I was just around a lot of negativity and around a lot of negative people and drama and toxicity and abuse, and I just really needed to get out of that situation and get away from everybody and clear my head and clear out all the noise, just to be able to fucking think for myself. So moving down here, that's my why. The next step is to be realistic. Don't think that you're gonna move down here and I don't know, you're gonna just be realistic about your plan. And this is, step by step having a plan, but don't move down here with no money and no job and, no prospects or no car and think that you're just gonna thrive. It does not work like that. Faith without work is dead. So you can have all the faith in the motherfucking world, but if you don't have a plan behind that, if you're not putting in the work behind that, it is not gonna go your way. I promise you. So just be realistic about moving down here, the time frame, the amount of money that it's gonna take, how much it's gonna cost you. Be realistic about everything. I know sometimes it's hard to think about all that stuff, and it's tedious, but once you think about it and once you get it done, you'll never gotta worry about it again. The next step is budget your money so you can determine what you can actually afford. The cost of living here in Atlanta, in my opinion, is kind of expensive. To live in a pretty decent neighborhood, maybe I just didn't look hard enough, but in a decent neighborhood, you're gonna pay about $1,200 for a 1-bedroom apartment. Maybe you can find a 2-bedroom for somewhere around that price range, but it's like a 1-bedroom that I have right now is about $1,200. That is a lot of money to me, but you need to be able to really budget your money and determine what you can afford. Now, you can go the scammer way and the CPNs and the fake social security numbers and the fake pay stubs, and you could try that route. I wouldn't recommend that shit because I just wouldn't. What's the point? People get really upset about most apartments want you to make 3 times the rent, and it's just like, that's just their criteria. In most places, it is 3 times the rent. Some places it's 2.5 times, but most places, the general rule of thumb is you got to make 3 times the rent to be able to qualify. That means figuring out how much money you need to be bringing in a month in order to afford a $1,200 a month apartment, a $1,000 a month apartment, $800 a month apartment. And if you can't afford that, then maybe you need to consider staying with roommates or staying in a rooming house, something like that. Next is determining what area that you want to live in, or you want to be in. For me personally, I do not do the country. I don't do well in the country. I can't even say I don't do well because I've never been out there. I don't want to live in the country at all. But I also didn't want to live downtown. I know that a lot of people, I want to live downtown. I want to live downtown. You want to live downtown until you can't get no seat because people always honking their horns. You want to live downtown until everybody in your neighborhood got their car broken into because people think you got money because you live downtown so you can break into your car. You want to live downtown until they know where to park because it's a parade going on downtown. Now you stuck. Now your car got told. You want to live downtown. It's just so much stuff that goes into living in the actual downtown area. Like, I would never want to live downtown anywhere. So I chose to live in an area that's, I'm probably like 15-ish minutes from downtown Atlanta. I'm not that far away from downtown Atlanta, but I'm just not like a city girl. Like, I don't need to be with all the clubs and bars and stuff like that. That doesn't benefit. Just put me by a grocery store and a gas station and I'm fine, I'm satisfied. But you need to determine what area that you want to live in. Do you want to live in the country or do you want to live in the city? Do you want a lot of neighbors? Do you want some space? Do you want people to get off your motherfucking ass? And you gotta think about convenience too. Like, do you want to be near grocery stores and to be able to walk? Like, it's called a walk score. Basically, like, what can you walk to in your area? It's just a thing, Google it. Can you walk to the grocery store? Can you walk to the gas station? Is it a service station next to you? Like an auto shop in case your car, like, that is something very important. Like, it's an auto shop right next to me. I can't tell you how many times I had a flat and I was able to just drive over there, or something wrong with my car, or a tow is really cheap because it's literally right next door. Like, I'm right next door to a grocery store. I'm next to a couple restaurants. Now I'm not driving. I'm on public transportation. That's also something to think about. Do you want to be close to a train station? The train station nearest me is like literally 2 minutes up the street. Like, it's right there. The area that I live in is very convenient, and that was really important to me. Before times like this when I don't have a car and I need to go to the grocery store, luckily I can just walk to the grocery store that's right there. Next, you need to think about specifically where you want to live. Do you want to rent an apartment or do you want to rent a house, or are you looking to purchase a home? I can't tell you nothing about purchasing a home. That's too much adulting for me. Like, do you want to rent a small apartment? Do you want to live in a high rise? Do you want to live in a small complex? Do you want to live in a big complex? Where do you see yourself living? Like, for me, I know I want to stay in an apartment building. My neighborhood isn't really that big, but it's big enough. I didn't want to stay in those massive apartment complexes where I just didn't. So I just chose to live in a relatively like medium-sized neighborhood. I like it. It's gated. It's a gated community, so I definitely feel safe when the fucking gates working. Next, you think about transportation. Like I said, MARTA is really good around here. So I live close to a bunch of bus stations. Train station is up the street from me. It's another train station 5 minutes up the street from there. For me, public transportation is easy to catch because I just can walk to the train station, walk to the bus station, and I'll be fine. Other than that, the buses, the trains, the Lyft is pretty good around here. I feel like the prices went up on Lyft because just to go up the street be like $10. Literally a 4-minute drive be like $10. But I don't know, because I never really took Lyft before. But Lyft and Uber is available even out in the country, like the further areas. Is still Lyft and Uber out there. Buses go pretty far. The buses goes like, I work 3 jobs, and one of my jobs is like 2 hours away on the bus and the train and stuff like that. But it's really easy to get to, and it's really it runs on time most of the time. As of lately, it's been running better. It's been better about being on time. You gotta think about how you're gonna get around here. The public transportation is an option, but if you have a car, you also have to think about in the park, where you're gonna park, making sure that your car maintenance is up to date so that you are able to get around, how you're gonna get to work. You have to be able to plan these things out, because you can move down here and then get an apartment, but how you gonna get around? How you gonna get to work? You know, most jobs, it's illegal. It's illegal for them to ask you, do you have a car to get to work? It's very illegal for them to ask you that. So if they ask you that, tell them go to hell. All they can ask you is, do you have reliable transportation back and forth to work? And you should say yes, because you do. Because you should, because before you sign a lease for somewhere, you need to make sure that you're at least near some sort of public transportation. If not, being able to catch a lift or get a ride to the train station, to the bus station, or you're just gonna have to, use them legs and get to walking. Be mindful that transportation is something that you need to think about, because you got to get back and forth to work. You got to get back and forth to the grocery store, to the gas station. Like, you got to be able to get, not to the gas station, you got to be able to get back and forth to these places. Next thing about planning your move down to Atlanta, you need to have a plan A through Z. Like, you really need to plan for everything. What if you were supposed to move in with one of your friends down here, you get all the way down here and they don't want to live with you no more, or you can't live with them because they messy, or they drama filled, or they toxic as fuck, and it's just not good for your mental health. What if you move down here with family and then they decide out of the blue, one wants you to stay with us no more? What if you get a good roommate and y'all good for 6 months, and then fucking, I sound real personal right now. What if you get a roommate and then you find out that they ain't not paying their bills on time, and they finna put you in a bad space financially? Like, you can't afford to pay all these blah, blah, blah stuff. You need to have a plan for everything. How you gonna get down here? How you gonna pay to get down here? Are you flying or are you driving? How you gonna get your stuff down here? Who's gonna help you move your stuff down here? Are you gonna be living in a 3-story apartment, 5-story apartment with no motherfucking elevator? You got all this heavy furniture. How they helped you back home, but how they gonna help you unload it here? Like, you need to plan for all of these things because it's just important, because the smallest detail will just throw you completely off. Because they got a U-Haul truck full of stuff downstairs and you have no idea how you're supposed to get it upstairs. Me, all I took was what I could carry in my hands. I packed my little kid soul up with all my little stuff, and then when it was time to move, it was a very hot ass summer day. I will link that video in the corner somewhere, as well as the apartment tours of the apartments that I looked at, and a bunch of just Atlanta related videos. I have a lot of Atlanta for your viewing pleasure. But I moved down here and I moved all my stuff up by myself, and I was done within like an hour, because I didn't have no furniture, no personal stuff. I just really had my clothes and my little keepsakes and stuff like that, so it was very easy for me. But make sure you have plan A through Z. What if your plan goes wrong? What are your alternatives? What if you get down here, you don't have a place to stay? Are you gonna get an Airbnb? Are you gonna go to a hotel? Are you gonna sleep in your car? Like, what are you need to plan for everything. Because I found my roommate before I got down here, but I was like, even if shit goes completely left, I still know that I had my car at the time. So I was like, okay, even if shit does go left, I sleep in my car. Shit, I don't give a fuck. Next, you need to find out what you're gonna do for work. Going back to find out where you wanna live and getting approved for an apartment and stuff like that, you have to make 3 times the rent. So, and at the very least, I know some places my complex did, because I was starting a new job after I was I was starting a new job after I was signing my lease. So I was gonna sign my lease and then I was gonna start my job. So I didn't have any pay stubs to show them. But what I did have was an offer letter. So sometimes they'll accept an offer letter from a company if it shows how much you make, how many hours you're gonna be working. Most companies will accept that. But most places want pay stubs too. I had 2 jobs, so I had pay stubs from one job and an offer letter from another. You need to find out what you're gonna do for work, because that's how you're gonna get your apartment. As far as finding work, before you move down here, I would definitely be on Indeed, be on Craigslist, Google jobs, be in contact with certain people, fill out the applications before you get here. I would say probably like a week or 2 before you get here, start filling out job applications. If not, if you can't transfer with your current company, or if you don't want to do that, then start filling out job applications before you move down here. Way back when in the day, I was living up north. I was living in Cleveland, Ohio, and I was moving back home to Virginia. Before I moved back to Virginia, I started filling out job applications before I even got home, because I was like, I'd have to have a job when I get back home. Obviously, I gotta work. I was like 19 at the time, 18, 19. And so I started filling out job applications before I got down there. And people was calling me. I was like, they was like, can you come in tomorrow for an interview? And I was like, I'm in Ohio right now. I can't come to next week. And they were like, oh, something. And then somebody actually waited for me, like literally the day I was moving down from Virginia. When I was moving down from Ohio to Virginia, I got a call and it was like, can you come in for an interview? That day that I was driving 9-12 hours to get down here, I had an interview that day and I got the job. So fill out applications before you get down here, so that you can have at least an idea of where you might want to have some interviews. And also, speaking of work, sometimes you got to accept a shitty job to get a better job. So sometimes you just got to eat some humble pie, humble yourself, and take a job just for right now, just to pay the bills, just for right now. And then you can start working on your dream job or your dream career, your goal, your business, whatever the case may be. But you gotta have something in the bag. You gotta have a bag coming in, okay? Because we growing, we got bills to pay, okay? Next on planning our moves to Atlanta is, who are you gonna live with? Are you gonna have roommates, or can you afford to live alone? Are you gonna live with your family? Are you gonna live with friends that you have down here? Where are you going to live? Who are you going to live with? That is very important for me. I found a roommate before I got down here. We FaceTime. She showed me the apartment, and I got lucky because she was a really nice girl. She was the best roommate I ever fucking had. I got lucky. Was very blessed to have her. But prior to her, I had some really terrible fucking roommates who I'm trying to let it go. But I'm gonna have to get in your call if I ever see you again. You know the fuck I'm talking to, bitch. You want me fucking money still, bitch? Oh, I'm telling you, if you can afford to live on your own, do that shit. If you cannot, get on Facebook, go to Facebook group, search ATL apartments, ATL housing. In my last video that I will link in the cards here, I linked all that in that description box, the specific groups that I use to find my roommate and stuff like that. They are legit. I never into any scams or anything, or people being weird. I actually was interviewing, I guess, or to be a couple people's roommates, but I ended up going with her. But there were a lot of good apartments up there that people was just leasing. If you can, I know it's gonna be pretty impossible to find, but pretty impossible to find. But if you can, try and go somewhere where you're on individual leases versus on one lease, because if y'all are all on one lease and they're not paying their rent and it's all on you, and the last thing that you want is an eviction, because you will never be able to live anywhere else with a fucking eviction. Don't ever get evicted from anywhere. I know there's ways around it and little illegal ways and the CPNs and blah 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 blah. Don't do it. Just don't get evicted from nowhere. So if you're gonna be on a lease with somebody else, see, I won't own my roommate lease. Like, I just moved in with her. We had our own lease. We actually made up a contract between us, amongst us, but I didn't have an actual contract with the leasing office, like with the property. I had one with her, a little sublease. So do that. Make sure you're covered. Make sure that you have your name on something at the very least, or get mail there or something, because worst case scenario, or push come to shove and they put you out and you ain't got nowhere to go. Because like me, you're not from down here, so you don't have no other friends or family who you can go stay with. So like I said, that goes back to having a plan A through Z. But if you are looking for a roommate, I do suggest Facebook. Craigslist is kind of but maybe you might be able to find a roommate. They do have rooms for rent on Craigslist too. So just check it out. Use your common sense. Listen to your intuition. Don't fall for no fucking scams. Next, you gotta think about, are you moving alone or are you moving with someone? So me personally, like I said, I moved down here all by myself. People always question me and ask me, why the fuck did you move down here by yourself? I'm just like, why not? Like, why the fuck not? Don't be afraid to come down here alone, step on a limb. Worst case scenario, it don't work out and you go somewhere else. Like, that's the benefit. You don't have to say nobody. You're not tied down to Georgia. Like, you can leave. I can leave at any moment. I can leave tomorrow if I want to. I mean, I'm on my lease right now, so I can't. I did it. You can do it too. It does come with some challenges, but you don't have to move with somebody. I know a lot of times people be like attached to other people and they feel like, oh, I gotta go with somebody. I can't be alone. I can't. Baby, I do everything by myself. Okay, I'm a loner. Telling you, to a motherfucking T. I'll go to the movies by myself. I'll go out to eat by myself. I take myself on a date. Like, I go shopping by myself. I love living by myself. Like, it has been the best decision I ever made in my life. So don't be scared to do something just because you have to do it by yourself. But if you have a friend who wants to move to Atlanta too, do it together. Be wary, like I said, about that lease shit, about living with other people, and it can get kind of sticky when you move with family or friends. But don't be afraid to move down here just because you don't have this big army behind you, like coming down here with you. Like, I did it by myself, you can do it by yourself. You got this. Let's talk about family. So if you are moving down here because of family, are you gonna stay with them? Will they let you stay with them even for like a couple weeks or whatever, just till you get into your apartment or find your roommate? And do you know anyone here? So having family down here will be a plus, because you will know somebody down here who knows the area, who can tell you what to do, what not to do. Because unfortunately, that's a con for me. I didn't have anybody down here who could like guide me along and help me along the way. So it's kind of hard navigating certain things and getting to know the area and stuff like that. So having family down here would be a plus. So if you can, even if they stay in an area where you don't necessarily want to stay at, just give them a call and ask them for some advice. Hey, I'm thinking about moving down to Atlanta. Can you help me out? Can you point me in the right direction? Also, if you have children, because I know a lot of my subbies, hey girls, I know a lot of y'all have children and y'all ask me about school districts. I'm sorry, unfortunately, I ain't got no kids, so I can't really speak to that. But I do know that, I don't know. I do speech therapy in Fulton County schools. The school I teach at is very nice. It's actually so lovely, and I wish all schools was like that. It's a charter school. I love it so much. But I think it's Clayton County, Fulton County, DeKalb County. So a couple of different counties of schools around here. Again, I only work in one school. I've only been into that one school, so I can't speak for the other schools. But the school that I do teach at, it's amazing. I love it so much. So if you are thinking about getting your kids into school here, look into charter schools. I will look into some charter schools here. I won't say the name of the place where I work at. I will just say look into some charter schools. You're going to make a list of your wants versus your needs. I need you to really understand the difference between a want and a need. For my apartment, I wanted to have at least one bedroom. I wanted like 2 bedrooms, but a 1 bedroom. At least I don't like studios. So a 1 bedroom with a balcony is a must for me. Washer and dryer hookups were a must for me. That one was, I just needed hookups. My apartment didn't come with a washer and dryer included, but it did have hookups. And I bought my own washer and dryer, which was super affordable, super affordable. Now I own my washer and dryer. I can take it with me when I move, or I can sell it. I needed to have windows, obviously. You'll be surprised. Some apartments don't have fucking windows in like the bedroom or some shit like that. So I needed to have windows and a good amount of natural sunlight and natural lighting. I need to have just certain stuff. So make a list of everything that you need to have and everything that you want to have. Like, I needed to live in a safe community, somewhere where I felt safe walking around at night in the dark or whatever, versus the things that I wanted, like certain layouts and certain amenities. Like, that shit wasn't really important to me, but having a safe good environment to live in was very important to me. So get out a list, write all your wants down and write all your needs down, and like must-haves versus stuff you just want, because that'll really point you in the right direction as far as where you need to start off. Set a goal, but be realistic and be specific. So when you set a goal, like for me, when I made the decision to move down here, I said, okay, I'm moving in 2 weeks on June 1st, and this is how much money I'm gonna have saved up by then, and I'm gonna go, like, period. So make a goal. Say you want to move in 6 months. Be realistic about it. Don't say, oh, I'm moving 2 weeks. And then, like, at the time, I honestly didn't have nothing to lose. So that's why I was like, okay, in 2 weeks, I'll move down to it. I stayed with friends. I saved up some bread, and I was good to go. I made enough money to get down here, pay my first month rent, pay my deposit, and I was good to go. So set a goal and be specific about it. Don't just say, oh, sometime next year, I'm going to move to Atlanta. No. What date do you want to move? What month do you want to move? Do you want to move in the winter or the summertime? Do you want to... How far away are you? Are you close enough to where you can drive down here, or do you have to fly? Most people who move down here, they drive down here. They're usually on the East Coast or somewhere like in the South, like Texas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Virginia, New York, Jersey, Maryland, places like that. Like most people are close enough to where they can. It might be a long drive. For me, it was about 6 hours or 9 hours. I think it was like 8 or 9 hour drive, I think, to get down here for me. So I drove in my car by myself, so it was doable for me. But if it's like a 24-hour drive because you coming all the way from fucking, I don't know, let's say out in the West somewhere, like it's a long drive for you, are you gonna have somebody else come with you? Like, set a goal, but be specific about it. Like, I'm gonna move at this time with these people are gonna help me move with this much money in my pocket. Like, be specific about your goal. The very last thing for planning your move to Atlanta is to not wait to just do it. Act now. Like, so many times we set goals and stuff like that and we kind of put it on the shelf and say, well, one day I'm gonna move to Atlanta, one day I'm gonna follow my dreams, one day I'm gonna da-da-da-da. No, do it now. Like, act now. Even if, I don't mean pack all your shit up and get in the car and move now. What I mean is make a plan now. Make a plan for your move. Make your exit. Make your way out. Why not? And so that way you have, I was counting the days, so it was time for me to move down this motherfucker. Like, count the days. X off each day you wake up. Oh, I'm moving in 60 days. I'm moving in 59 days. I'm moving in 58 days. Make your plan. Put your money up to the side. Like, start planning now so that when the time comes, you won't let another year or whatever pass you by. You can say, oh shit, I didn't really plan well enough. I didn't really act on my plan. I didn't act on my goal. I didn't have a specific enough goal, so now I gotta wait till next year. Stop letting life pass you by. Stop letting your dreams and your aspirations pass you by. Just do it. Don't be scared. It's nothing to be scared of. You might fail, so what? That is what success looks like. A bunch of fucking failures. But then guess what? Eventually you won't fail anymore. And those failures won't be failures if you learn from them. So if I would have moved down here and fell flat on my face and failed completely and everything would have went wrong, guess what? I would have dusted myself off. I thought I got the fuck up and I want to try it again. I want to try a different approach and a different approach and a different approach until I found something that fucking works, because that's what it looks like. But if you plan for this shit, if you plan for the good stuff and the bad stuff, if you plan for everything that might go wrong, you got your plan A to Z, you cannot fail. You cannot fail. I promise you, you will not fail. People hit me up all the time. Oh, Courtney, I want to move to Atlanta. I'm so scared. I'm so nervous. I don't know what to do. I'm telling you what to do. This is how you plan your move. And I have other videos that you can reference, and I will be having a plethora of other videos on moving to Atlanta, because I want you to win. I want you to succeed. People keep saying, oh, everybody move to Atlanta. Ain't no room down here. It's room. It's room. We got room. I promise you we got room down this motherfucker. So anyways, if you all have any questions, please don't feel afraid to slide in my DMs at YoungandKinky on Instagram, or you can leave me a comment down below and I will respond to you. But that's all I got for you today. Thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I will see you next Thursday at 4 p.m. Okay, bye.